Hey everybody, welcome back around to the blog and grill. I'm your host Doug here with your video blog for February 2nd, 2015, the day after the Super Bowl, and it was quite a game. We'll also take a look at your college basketball schedule for tonight, but our main focus will be on first the Super Bowl, then we'll look at the Seahawks going forward and the Patriots going forward. So first the game, it was a great game, of course. New England winning the game 28-24. Tom Brady winning excuse me, another Super Bowl MVP. They got off to an early lead. They were out 7-0 early. Tom Brady, really a scoreless first quarter. Second quarter, both teams scored 14. Big gutsy play late in the first half by Pete Carroll to go for it. With 6 seconds to go in the second quarter, they went for it. Chris Matthews catches a touchdown pass, a guy who was working at Foot Locker about 2 months ago. Interesting story. There are a lot of interesting storylines. We'll get to some of those later on. Tom Brady, though, was great. 37 of 50 for 328, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. It was a very impressive game for Brady. He looked very good. Didn't throw a lot of deep balls. Had the one deep pass to Gronkowski on the 22-yard touchdown catch, but really just played well. He did throw 2 picks. One was a really nice play by Bobby Wagner. The other one, not a great decision by Tom Brady early on when he was picked off by Lane in the first quarter when they were driving down in the red zone. Really what it came down to was the last play of the game, or the last play for the Seahawks. I thought it was a good play call to run the little slant route with Lockett coming across. Really the cornerback just blew the play up, and that's what was the difference in this game. And then you had some extracurriculars there at the end with Bruce Irvin throwing a punch. I thought they had a good shot to get a safety out of it, but Michael Bennett, the guy who's jumped off sides so many times all year, jumped off sides again, so that didn't help them out. But what it came down to is that play. A lot of people said they should have ran Lynch more. All I say to that is if that pass goes for a touchdown, nobody's asking anything about that today. Nobody's second-guessing, saying, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you should have ran it. Nobody would have questioned that, so that's something to watch. And, I mean, I just thought it was a good call. Everybody thinks you're going to give it to Russell, so why not give it to C? Why not try to make a little pass? And really, it came down to just the play getting blown up, and the play wouldn't have even happened if it wasn't for Jermaine Kearse making a ridiculous catch along the sideline where he fell down. Ball bobbled, never touched the ground, and he reeled it in. And then Lynch has a run, and then it sets it up at the 1, and they just couldn't make it happen. I thought it was interesting. Belichick did not call a timeout. I think he really just put that on his defense that we have to get a stop here or we're not going to win the game because we do not have a deep threat and we're not going to be able to get the ball down the field at this point. So going forward for Seattle, I think it's going to be interesting what happens with this team. They do have Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, and Richard Sherman locked up long term, but I think the key this offseason is to extend probably a 1-year deal to Marshawn Lynch. I think this guy's taken a lot of hits in his career, and he's probably one big hit away from being done, just like any other player, but he has a lot of miles on his body, so that's going to be something to watch. Also, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Russell Wilson. He will not come under free agency for 1 more year, but I think it's important for them to go out and lock this guy up long-term now, and then they can start to figure out where their other money will fall, and really they're going to have to draft well again. That's what they do. Dan Schneider and they just get it done, okay? These guys get it done. They know what they're doing, and they just have something really special working there, and I think Wilson is going to be a quarterback there for a very long time. On the other side of the ball, with the New England Patriots, I like some of their weapons. I like Vereen. I like Brandon LaFell. Julian Edelman, pretty good. Danny Amendola, not bad. I think the interesting thing here is to see what Belichick does and what Brady does. I think there's a chance Brady stays. I think Brady's going to stay, and I think Brady's going to play for a couple more years. I think he might have 1 more Super Bowl run in him. This puts him in the category of probably the greatest quarterback of all time, regular season and postseason combined now, as he's been to 6 Super Bowls and is really a David Tyree catch with super glue to his helmet and a Mario Manningham tightrope job along the sideline from being a 6-time Super Bowl champ. Him and Belichick are the winningest quarterback-coach combination in NFL history, and they just get it done, and it's because they can do so much with so little. Tom Brady is such a good player. He's had probably 1 deep threat in Randy Moss in his entire career, and Randy Moss was not there for very long. So I think going forward, what we'll see from this team is the Seahawks are going to look to lock Wilson up long term, and also I think we'll see Brady have one more shot at a Super Bowl run. So that is my take on the Super Bowl. Obviously, we're going to get an NFL draft stuff as well coming up, and that's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get out of here tonight, I just want to take a quick look at our college basketball schedules. We have 2 good games tonight. First at 7, number 3, Virginia takes on number 12, North Carolina down in Chapel Hill. I'll take Virginia in that game to get the win. And then in the late game, Iowa State versus Kansas. That's going to be a good one at 9 o'clock, number 11 versus number 8. I will take Kansas to get that win at home. So I'll be back sometime soon for another great blog, as we'll be looking at college basketball, NBA, and a lot more fun. Could be taking the blog on the road this week as well. Thank you for tuning in to the Blog and Grill. I've had a lot of fun with you. You can follow me on Twitter at YankeeBaller415. You can comment, question, subscribe to my page. Check me out on SportsMindandNews.com as well. I'll be back later on. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you then.